Now, with the greatest reverence, we're inviting His Holiness to please bestow precious Dharma teachings. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubdan Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to Golden Mother of the primordial Jetpan who are present here today, and her two attendants. Homage to Tara who dispels epidemics. And homage to all the deities. Sumo Tanzen Gatso Rinpoche Tutan Siddhi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples, and over the webcast. How do you do? Good evening, everyone.
Hola, amigo.
Hola, amigo.
Te quiero mucho.
Te quiero mucho.
Sugoi.
Sugoi.
Ichiban.
Ichiban.
Kimochi.
Kimochi.
Chumi.
Chumi.
Yapi.
Yapi.
Bling bling.
Ling ling.
Konbanwa.
Konbanwa.
大家晚安.
Good evening, everyone.
刚开始
Just now, at the beginning, there was a joke about Xiaoming. And I have another joke about Xiaoming. I like to tell everyone first. Xiaoming just came home from school and showed his dad his report card. When the dad saw it, wow, 100. He got 100, a score of 100. And yet the dad was quiet for a little bit and then said, Xiaoming, I'm already very pleased if you get 10, but why did you add another 0 to make it 100? And Xiaoming replied, Dad, you were wrong. I didn't add the 0 at the end. I added the 1 0 in the front. So this is a joke about Xiaoming. So today, we will talk about the questions asked by disciples. I chant Amitabha Buddha and mantra, but I never have any spiritual responses. Even after I took refuge, it did never happen. Why is this? Is it because of my poor birth or bad destiny? I live in the dorm and cannot practice. I can only chant Root Guru mantra and recite Amitabha Buddha. Please bless me. If I have time, I would like to offer my body, speech and mind to Grandmaster, the White Mahapadma Kumara, the Tantrika Seng Yen Lu, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas and Dhammapalas, and also burning the True Buddha School spirit money and offering lotus, etc. This person never had any spiritual responses. Question number
为什么没有感应？我在这里找出你打来的这个字，其中的一个问题所在。弟子
There
有
was
时间
a problem here with what you wrote. If I have time, I would like to offer my body, speech and mind to Grandmaster, the White Mahapadma Kumara, the Tantrika Seng Yen Lu, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas and Dhammapalas, and also burning True Buddha School spirit money and offering lotus, etc. So this is a problem here, because you say if I have time.
好了，你如果没有时间呢？
Okay, how about if you don't have time?
当然不会相应啊，因为你有时间
Of course, you will not have any spiritual responses because you only make offering when you have time. To Grandmaster White Mahapadma Kumara, the Tantrika Seng Yen Lu, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, and Dhammapalas, and also burning True Buddha School spirit money, offering lotus, etc. But if you don't have time, then none of it, right? So that's the problem. So you have to write it this way. I would like to offer my body, speech and mind. Don't say that if you have time. So if you don't have time, then you don't make offering. You still have to make offering.
这里面有第二个缺点。
And the second
弟子人在宿
problem,
舍，没办法修
I
法
live in the dorm and it's
只有
impossible for
持
me
上
to
师心
practice.
咒及念佛号
I can only
祈
chant
请
Root
师
Guru
尊
mantra
加
and
持
recite Amitabha Buddha. Please bless me.
修法。你如果在宿舍的话，
If you
你可以
live in
观
the
想啊
dorm,
观想没有
you
人
can
看
use
得出来你在观
visualization.
想啊。
Nobody can tell.
你坐着，安静的坐着，眼睛闭着，那时候就是在观想嘛。
You just sit quietly and close your eyes and you do your
持上师
visualization.
心咒及念佛号，也
So
可以持在
you
心里。
can chant Root Guru mantra and recite Amitabha Buddha. You can do it silently in the heart. So first visualize and then chant mantra. And when you sleep, you enter into samadhi.
这就是一个修行的正行。
So that would
当
be
然，你
the
不能
main
在宿舍
part
里
of
面
the
做大礼
practice.
拜，
Of course, you cannot perform
也不能够
prostrations
这个持咒发出声音。
or chant the
所以你
mantra
有观
loudly.
想，观想用意念想。
So you can visualize in your mind.
观想以后，你持咒。
And after the visualization, you chant the mantra silently
你在
in
睡
your
觉的
heart.
时候就可以学习。
And
刚开始睡的时候，
when
学习
you get into
把
bed
一切
before
东
sleep, you can
也很
enter
容易
into
入死
samadhi and empty
四
your
摩地
mind.
呀
And it
这
would
三
be
摩地
easy
四
to
摩地
fall
都可
into
以进
sleep.
去。这个修
Not
法
just samadhi, also
并
sleep.
不一定是有形的，
So the practice is not always
持
tangible.
咒也是无形。
Visualization is
你
intangible.
解手
Chant
印的，
mantra is
你也
intangible.
可以
And
偷
the
偷地解手印，
mudras,
在袖
you
子
can
里
just
面
do
解
it
手印
secretly, like inside your sleeves or something. So that's your second fault that you say you cannot practice. You can practice anywhere, anytime, whether they are other people or not. So that's why you have no spiritual responses. Even when you chant Buddha's name and mantra, even after you took refuge. Is it because of my poor birth and less fortune? So, okay, now I blew my breath on it so that you would have some responses. The second question. I keep ruminating on this issue about fixed karma, that it is impossible to change it. Like what Sakyamuni Buddha said about the extinction of the Sakya clan cannot be saved even by the powerfully transcendent Maudya Galyana. However, we also know about Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's fixed karma eradication mantra. As its name suggested, chanting this mantra we can transform fixed karma. Is this correct? I have been thinking about this since Siddhigarbha's ceremony last week. So the mantra to eradicate fixed karma meant that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's true mantra has great power so that it can eradicate fixed karma and unfixed karma, like the karma eradication mantra of the 7 Buddhas can also eradicate grave or heavy karma. However, the extinction of the Sakya clan so cannot be saved by Maudya Galyana, who has great transcendent power. Let me tell you. So Maudya Galyana's transcendent power cannot necessarily save the Sakya clan. So he cannot even save his mother in hell. You have watched the movies. So Maudya Galyana could not even save his mother from hell. It has to rely on the 15th of the 7th month of the lunar calendar to gather the power of many people in order to save the mother of Maudya Galyana. That's why we have the universal deliverance on the 15th of the 7th lunar month. So you have to rely on the power of many Sangha members in order to save Maudya Galyana's mother. Therefore, the extinction of the Sakya clan in his transcendent power for past and future lives, Sakyamuni Buddha knew that the Sakya clan will extinct. And he knew that was extremely heavy karma, that none of the mantras could save it. Therefore, Sakyamuni Buddha said that the extinction of the Sakya clan could not be alleviated because it was an extremely grave karma. However, the mantra to eradicate fixed karma of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is extremely wonderful. It can change the fixed karma. However, Naudyagalana could not change the faith of the Sakya clan, and Sakyamuni Buddha did not want to change it either because he knew its faith and destiny. There's contradiction here. According to what I know, for the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the great Bodhisattvas, in their transcendent power for past and future lives, it covers all the fixed karma that cannot be changed. However, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's mantra to eradicate fixed karma, and there are many fixed karma eradication mantras, many of them, not just the one belonging to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and can change the fixed karma. Why? Because it wasn't spoken by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, not the fixed karma that was predicted or confirmed by the power, transcendent power of past and future lives. The other day, we mentioned about the great or extremely terrific good deeds or horrendous bad deeds that can change their faith and destiny. Someone that does a great practice that changed his destiny. So if you can change your destiny, that means there is no fixed karma. However, why Sakyamuni Buddha said that he knew the past 500 lives and the future 500 lives, and none of those could be changed. Why? Because Sakyamuni Buddha and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas' premonition or prediction including your great practice and horrendous bad deeds were already predicted, were already included in that prediction, in that prophecies. At what time you would perform terrific good deeds or perform horrific bad deeds, when you would perform the great practice to change destiny, and they were already included in the prophecies and predictions. So now you understand. So that's the great fixed karma. Sakyamuni Buddha knew about 500 future kalpas and 500 past kalpas. And all the arhats knew about past and future 500 lives. Can you change them? No, because whatever you changed were already included in the prophecies. They knew when you would perform the great practice to change your destiny. They were all covered in the prophecy. So that's what I said too. So whatever the Buddha said covers the extinction of the Sakya clan. It cannot be changed. However, the mantra to eradicate fixed karma and the fact by you chanting the mantra and change your destiny is included in the prophecy of the Buddha. And that's so it's very difficult to understand. The Buddha knows about the innumerable kalpas. Doesn't matter whether it's fixed or unfixed or changed karma, they were all known to the Buddha and included. So, strictly speaking, whatever the Buddha said about the future and past innumerable kalpas, or spoken by the arhats about 500 past and future lives, are already included in all of their prophecy and prediction. Whether it's fixed or not fixed, they were all included. And the third question for today, your disciple does not know how to connect my Dharma practice with enlightenment so that I don't waste time in my practice. Let me tell you, in each of our Dharma practice is related to our enlightenment. When you enter into samadhi and you gain the wisdom of the Tathagata, then that's enlightenment. If you don't enter samadhi, you would not know. It's written in the Heart Sutra. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva penetrate the deep paramita. So Avalokitesvara, when entered into the deepest samadhi, finally was enlightened to whatever was described in the Heart Sutra. That's because when you perform each of the Dharma practice, you visualize, chant mantra, enter samadhi. And after you enter samadhi, then naturally you will connect with enlightenment. So your disciple does not know how to connect my Dharma practice with samadhi. That's when you enter samadhi. Then you have connected with enlightenment. That's why I ask you to do Dharma practice, because by doing the Dharma practice, you will connect with the enlightenment. And yet you said you don't know? Just enter samadhi. It's written very clearly in the Heart Sutra. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva penetrate deep into the paramita, which is enter into the deepest samadhi. Prajna paramita is relying to the greatest wisdom of the Mahayana. You gain the wisdom of the Tathagatas and you gain enlightenment. That's very easy to explain. That's the third question. The second question is rather difficult to explain about fixed and unfixed karma. I would like to ask Grandmaster, I know that True Buddha School puts great importance on visualization. You know, let me tell you, truly, True Buddha School spiritual cultivation put great importance on visualization, and all tantric Buddhist practices stress visualization. What should I do if my visualization is just all dark with a slightly lit outline of a yidam? Or even if I put my heart to it, I cannot even visualize the darkness. How do I improve this? I'm really baffled and no one is helping me. When I visualize, I let my mind empty and think of the yidam. Then gradually or slowly think of the yidam. However, no matter how hard I try, I just cannot see the full appearance of the yidam. You know, if it's so easy to see yidam, don't think too much. So you want to see the yidam just by visualizing once? You know, Guru Tsongkhapa was paying repentance to 35 Buddhas, and he could not see yidam at all. You know, he did it until his skin and flesh opened bare and bled and saw the bones. And he only saw the 35 bodies in half bodies. And he practiced for so much time. You don't know how much time he had practiced in order for Tsongkhapa to see the 35 yidams. And you, the little nobody, and you wanted to see the full appearance of the yidam? That you just cannot see the full appearance of the yidam? Let me tell you, even I don't necessarily see the full appearance of the yidam every time. What the heck are you? You think spiritual cultivation is that easy? That you can see the yidam whatever you like? There are many spiritual cultivators or practitioners who have been practicing for a long time, and when I told them that I saw Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and they were all laughing at me and said that I was crazy, that something's wrong in my head, that I was crazy or retarded. I told the elder practitioners that I saw Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and they were all said that I was crazy. And you said you just cannot see the full appearance of the yidam? That's accurate. That's accurate. Because it is best for you not to see. Because if you see, then you would be judged to be crazy person. You have to practice until you truly see. You start with visualization. I have taught this before. Just look at the image of the yidam, so that when you close your eyes, you can see it, you can visualize it very clearly. First, you visualize, you think of it first. And you have to practice for years before you see the appearance without thinking of it. So, it's number one that you cannot see anything. And if you see, then you're crazy people. There's one condition that you can see it very clearly, but I cannot teach you. Generally speaking, people like to take hallucinating drugs, and when you take it, sometimes you start shaking your head and then you see something. So you're taking drugs, and those are toxic, poisonous. So it's prohibited. You should not take it. That's hallucination. It's not true vision. So you have to do it with visualization, and then eventually you would be able to see truly. So for you, I cannot see the full appearance of the yidam. That's Ichibang, number one. That's very good. Let me ask Master Lian Wang. Could you see the appearance of the yidam every time? And Master Lian Wang, who's been practicing for a long time, said no. And he's a master and he cannot. Are you a master? So it's normal that you cannot see. And it's abnormal if you can see. Just now, Grandmaster saw Golden Mother and Golden Mother's two attendants, Dong Shuang-chen and Xi Hui-chung, and also Tara who dispels epidemics. And that was true seeing. Let me tell you, anybody that can see is all in the psychiatric hospital, psychiatric ward. But Grandmaster is still normal, even with the true seeing. The next question. May Grandmaster be auspicious. It's impossible for me to visualize home syllable revolving. Cannot visualize the home syllable revolving. So instead, I directly visualize Padma Kumara gradually decreasing to a size of a grain of rice on top of my head, and then let him descend to the heart chakra. Is this acceptable? Visualize the home syllable revolving, but it cannot revolve. Let me try. Yes, you can. Why cannot? Why it cannot revolve? Can you think of the 6 syllable revolving? How about Bing Xiang? Can it? Yes. There's no need to ask some more. Of course, everybody can. How come you cannot? But you can visualize him to gradually decrease in size. But you cannot visualize the revolution? Yeah, you're incredible then. That you have such a strong fixation, meditative stability. But you can think of Padma Kumara gradually decreasing to a size of a grain of rice on top of the head and then descending to the heart chakra. Okay. Okay, sure. That's fine too. It doesn't have to revolve. I will give you a break. The person's name is Lili Luo. It should be okay. First question, what is the difference between the true body and Dharma body? So this is about the 4 bodies. Typically, we only talk about 3 bodies or 3 kayas, which is physical body, reward or light body, and Dharma body. The first one, physical body or transformation body, like Grandmaster, that's Nirmana Kaya. And the Sambhoga Kaya, or the light body, is Padma Kumara. And above is the Dharmakaya, and that would be Vairocana Buddha. And the union of these 3 kayas or bodies is the true body. So the true body is the combination or the union of the Dharmakaya, Sambhoga Kaya, and Nirmana Kaya. So that's the difference. Now you understand. How can
这样
I
做一个比喻。
make an analogy?
这
Let
个
me.
金刚铃呢，
This
金
Vajra
刚铃
bell
就是法身。
is the
什么是
Dharmakaya.
报身呢？
And what is the
就是它的
Sambhogakaya?
它的形象，有形象
Is
出
the
来。
shape.
我们知道金刚铃，哦，它是法身。
We know
那么它的形象如果显现
that,
出来，金
oh,
刚铃这
Vajra
样，
bell, that's the Dharmakaya.
那么
And
这
then
个
when
就是
it
它的
has
报
shape
身。
like this, then this
什么
is
是它的
the
应身呢？敲一
Sambhogakaya.
下，
And what is the Nirmanakaya? Is when it makes sounds.
这个声音就是它的应身。
That's the Nirmanakaya, the
金刚铃
sound.
如果用观想的，一个形没有那个形象，金刚铃就是金刚铃。
So when you
这个就是
visualize
法身，
Vajra bell and
有了
without
形
any
象
form and
就是
sound,
报身。
that's
它
Dharmakaya.
的作
When
用
it has form, it's
就是应
Sambhogakaya.
身，
And its function, that's Nirmanakaya.
包括声音跟形象， 跟
So
金
it
刚铃
includes the
全部合起
sound,
来就是
the
真身。
shape, and the Vajra bell. That would be the
好，
true
做这个比喻。
Kaya.
好，人的正魂跟副魂在外观
That's
上
the
有何不同？
analogy. What is the difference
如何
between
区
the
分？
main
如何
soul
知道此人
and side
被接
soul
引
from
佛
its
果，或
appearance?
是
How
到
do
了
you
他
know?
处？
How do you differentiate
这个
them?
第
And
二
how
个
can you
问
tell
题，
if someone has gone to the
人的
Pure
正
Land or
魂
to
跟
other
副魂，
places? So the main
我知
soul
道总统
or
有
the side
这个
soul,
总统跟副总统，
I know we have
这
the
个
president and the vice
总司
president,
令跟副总司令都有的，
or the
总司令
vice,
跟副总
the
司令。那么正
the
魂跟副
commander
魂，
and the deputy commander,
我是
and this
这
is
样
main
子。
soul and the
你这
side
个讲
soul.
的这个魂呢，在佛教是不讲魂的，
But in Buddhism, we
一般
don't
来
talk
讲
about
三
soul.
魂七魄，这是
We
道
talk
家在
about
讲，
three
佛教
souls
在
and
讲
seven
魂魄，
po.
道家在
This
讲
is Buddhism. I mean, this is Taoism. Kun and po,
灵魂就是
or
灵魂，
auxiliary soul.
哪有副魂？
So soul is soul. There's no main soul and secondary soul.
我这个我不太清楚。
I don't know about this. I don't know what he
总
meant.
之，我们超度
I don't know
是
what
把
his
他的
question is. So when
算是
we
灵魂。
perform bardo deliverance, let's just say it
这
is
个
a
佛教
soul.
是讲事，
In Buddhism, we
佛
talk
教
about
讲事，
consciousness,
事就是意识那个事。
the
佛教
consciousness,
是讲事，不讲魂。
not soul.
讲的
In Buddhism,
正
we
魂跟
talk
副
about
魂，
consciousness,
难
not
道有
soul.
正事跟副事吗？没有啊。
And we don't
所以
have
佛教是
any
讲说，
the
这个人已经
main
超度到佛
consciousness
果
and
了，
the
或者到
auxiliary
其他
consciousness.
地方去了。
So if we bardo
如
deliver
何知道
someone
此
to
人
the
已
Buddha
被
land
接
or
引
other
佛果，
places,
或是到了他处？
you ask, how can
这
you
个很
tell
难，
if someone has gone to the Pure
很
Land or
难
other
知道。
places? This is very
除非
difficult
你
to
是有
know.
正量的，
Only
正量的
people
上师可以告
with
诉
the
你，
proof of spiritual
有正
cultivation
量的修
can
行
tell.
人可以告诉你，这个
Only
人的灵
people
魂已经到了
or
佛果，
spiritual
或到其
practitioners
他的地
with
方，他是有
attainments can
正
tell
量的
you
才
if
可以。
someone has gone to the
如果
Buddha
没有
land or
正
other
量的，
places.
你问他也
But
没用，他
people
根本不知
without
道，
proofs of their attainments will
胡
not
说
know.
八道。
They're just probably making it up.
至于正魂跟副魂，还要研究一下。
And
什么是正魂，
about the
什么是副魂？
soul, main or auxiliary or
如
secondary,
果
I
你
don't
以
know.
佛性为正魂，以
So
性
if we
为副魂，
say the
那就
Buddha
有的说，
nature is the main soul
但
and the
是
mind is the
应该讲
auxiliary
起来，你不
soul,
是讲
then
这个吧？
we can talk about it. But that's not what you meant, right?
所以是有讲心，就是你的念头，
So if you
心
talk
性
about the mind,
就
that's
是
your
固
thoughts.
定不动的，就是佛性。
And the nature of the mind
啊，
or the Buddha
在
nature
密教
is
里面有讲
fixed.
心性，
It's
就是佛性。
unmoved. In
但是你的
Buddhism, we
心
talk about the
就是
nature
你
of
的
the
念
mind
头，
or the Buddha nature. And then your mind is your thoughts, which is always floating around. The third question, I heard from other people that tree roots should not enter coffins. That would be bad. How about tree burial and sea burial? They are environmentally compliant. How about from the intangible perspective? I did not know about tree burial, but I know about sea burial. Is this new? The tree burial? Of course, when I consult for feng shui, then when the tree roots enter coffin, of course it would affect the feng shui, the geomancy, it would all change. Of course that's not good. And tree burial, that's an impossible task. Nowadays, people like to bury themselves under the tree. That's their business. But Grandmaster prefer cremation. And the Muslims prefer burial on the ground, not cremation. So everybody has different viewpoints. But in my opinion, I'm not sure about the tree burial. That's a new thing. But if the tree root enters into the coffin, that will not be good. The same thing with the houses for the living. If you live in a house and there are roots going under the house, that's not good. That's not good. So the root goes to your living room, that's of course not good. So tree burial and sea burial are environmentally compliant. So maybe sea burial would be better. How about from the intangible perspective? Is there anything it will be bad effect? I think water burial, cremation, or ground burial would all be good, but tree burial may have bad effect. That's my personal opinion. Someone called Ning Fei Ning, and she is reciting a verse. Unattached by what the mundane do, it's not what I think. Nothing for nothing. For doing, for being unaffected by what's done. Thousands of miles. The loneliness is no difference. Just go back to the backyard. And this verse is extremely profound and deep. You are unaffected by what the mundane beings are doing, then you're like a sage. You're not a mundane being. You don't do anything that's being done by mundane beings.
这个抽是抽水的抽吗？抽离不在我想。
So
这个抽离两个字我不懂的
I don't
是什
know.
么意思？不在我想，
Moving apart,
就是
like
什么都不
drawing
想。
out. I kind of like I draw out and not think of anything.
无我为所，
And
一共
哦
有4个无。
for
为无所行
no self, for
千里
nothing,
为不易。
and for
千里
doing
千里那个
the
里，你是用
unattached.
心字旁的里。
So this
为
is
不易，
thousands
气
amidst the
后庭
thousands.
花一台，
The solitary
气后庭花
is
一
not
台。
different. So going to the
凄以
backyard
绵绵独孤饮，
amidst the
这好像武侠小说。
drizzles, I drink in solitary.
有一个
This
叫
is
做
like a
独孤求
kung
败，
fu
因为他
kung
每一
fu
次都赢，每一次跟人
novel.
家这个每一次跟人家这个比武，
There was someone that always win,
求败，他是求
always win. He has no rival, so
他每一次都赢。
what he wished for is to lose even once.
荷花异地流水过，
The lotus
异地流水过，
wants to
青山
drip
伴我，
flowing
我知道
water.
像水眼，像
The
水这样
green
青
mountain
有
is
青山
accompanying
陪
me,
着你，
but
那你向谁说
whom
呢？
should I talk to?
云集白花笑微微，你如像
And
云一样的头发
the
都花白了，
silver hair, the white flowers still smiling
这个
slightly.
你跟你的名字真的很像，你
It's
叫
so
林飞林，
close to your name. The name is
我
Ning
叫
Fei Ning.
一非一，梦非梦，如非
So
如。
So it's
那
like
我就回答你，这个就是林非林。
Ning Fei Ning is like, calm, not calm. That's the
我
name.
认为就是林非。
And this poem is like Ning Fei Ning, which is calm, not calm.
这个罗中庸问的
And Luo Zongyong asks a question.
阿弥陀佛，师尊好。
Amitabha
关于
Grandmaster
宠物殡葬，弟子有2个疑问。
questions about
师
burial of
尊曾在
pets.
当代法完
In your
答
book
疑后中
220th, Question and Answer from a Contemporary Dharma King,
家中
there's
的
an
宠物
article
是
Affinity
前世
with
的亲人，
Pets. It mentioned our pets are our relations from the
所以
past
宠
lives.
物或
They are
逝
here
世
because they are
是否
connected to
也
us.
应该为它
So
盖
when our
遵
pets
循
die,
陀罗尼
should we
被
also cover them
做
with the
中阴
Vijaya
身
Dharani
文了
blanket,
救度，
chant
家
and guide
念
them
佛
to
8小时，
deliverance
并
for
且
8
为它
hours
报
and
名
register
书
for the
法
birth
会
of
做
deliverance
事。
and sutra
弟子
recitation
收
every
养的
7
几只
days
流
up
浪
to
猫或
49
是
days.
是
The
比
homeless
照
cats I
你的
brought
方
home
式
died
办
and
理。
I did just so, like to a human being.
你这个是真的有爱众生啊！
You
真的
really
在
love
地上爱
sentient
众生。
being.
就是让众生啊，
Actually, sentient beings,
他既然到了你家，成了你家的
it's
宠物，
right that
都
if
是有缘的，
they live in your
就是
house,
有缘的，
become your
有缘来
pets,
相聚的。
then that's because you have
所以
affinity
你
with
人
them.
的方法
So we only get together because of affinities.
就是
So
爱
you
惜
do
自己
something
有缘的
like
这些
to a human being. So
过
you
去的亲人也好，
love dearly
或者是过去有缘的众
relations
生
or
也好，
relatives from past
这样
lives
子做
or
是正
people
确
that
的，
have connections with you.
是
So
好。
this is accurate what you did.
就是可以讲说，我们不只是爱人，还爱众生，
We don't just love human beings, we love all
或者
sentient
是都
beings.
是众生之一啊。
because all the animals are part of the sentient beings.
这是正确的。你看以前那个人家问达赖喇嘛，他说有蚊子叮你，你怎么办？
Someone asked Dalai Lama before, if a mosquito bites you, what would you do? And he said he would blow it.
把蚊子吹走，他连蚊子都不杀的。
He will not kill the mosquito.
他来叮你，你那个时候用吹的。
So if a mosquito stings you, then you blow it. But if it doesn't move, then you would pia, and then say Om Mani Padme Hum or chant the deliverance mantra. But by the time you finish chanting that deliverance mantra, the mosquito has had its fill and would already fly away. That would be fine too. Question by Cai Yaoxing. In history, is there a practitioner, spiritual practitioner, who can change his or her own birth date and time? The heavenly Gan and earthly Tze. So is the inner tantra, the second empowerment, spiritual practice can change our faith and destiny? And is it possible for us to change our destiny based on the birth date and time? Or is it in any sutras or Taoist sutra? Based on what I know, nobody can. That means the 8 characters, which mean the year, month, date, minute, and second of when you were born. Of course, you cannot change it. That's called the 4 pillars. So the Tian Gan Di Zi, the heavenly Gan and the earthly Tze, of course, cannot be changed. What you can change is spiritual cultivation, can change your destiny, but your birth date and time cannot be changed. So this is the study of establishing your destiny. So it's not changing the 4 pillars or the 8 characters of your birth date and time, because it's already fixed when you were born. You cannot change that. But you can change your faith and destiny. Like Liao Fan Si Xun, in the establishing your faith and destiny. You can check that and you would know. But you cannot change your birth date and time, because it comes with you when you were born. So let's talk about Lamdre a little bit. Leaking during the desirous greed of the consort. The preventive methods are the 6 changing postures, intermittent opening and closing, and special prevention. So the 6 changing postures are the eye and moon looking up, the tip of the tongue touching the upper palate, pressing on the Adam's apple, and completely exhale the upper chi, and then hold the anus, and then push in your abdomen toward your back. So 2 eyes looking up, the tip of tongue touching the upper palate. Exhale completely the upper chi, pressing on the Adam's apple, pushing the abdomen to the back, and lifting the anus. That's the Sakya 6 changing postures. You use that. And the intermittent opening and closing and special prevention. What's that? So you open and close. And use very special prevention. So when you're desirous or when you're greed, then you would leak. So when you start to feel the bliss, then you have to perform the Sakya 6 changing postures to stop it. That's the prevention or the preventive method. Also use the tranquilizer incense to fumigate all openings to the roots, to the senses. How do I pronounce this character? Then get a falcon egg and put it inside a sack and tie it at the secret area. Or using the first laid egg of a wild duck can also do. And tranquilizer incense and fumigate. So a wild duck's egg that's just freshly laid and tranquilizer incense to fumigate the openings to the senses, and then get an egg of a wild duck and tie it at the secret area can prevent the leaking. Also, the mixture of flowers and fruits. Get a full bloom flower and fruit and grind them finely. Add milk to blend and take it on an empty stomach. Of all the food and medicine methods, this is the best kind of prevention or protection. So you get a full bloom flower and its fruit. Grind them finely, add milk to blend, or you can make a pill of it and take it on an empty stomach, which means when you're hungry, this can protect. It's also a kind of protection. If the above do not succeed, do the opposite. Visualize oneself to become a supreme victor, pulling all hair out, silver gray, smear the cattle poop on the naked body, and the left hand holding lots of pea ash in a coconut, and the right hand holding peacock feather covering the secret area, and practice this while chanting Om Ali Hung Ta Ka Cha Chu. If this results in lack of desire, then combine with some sensations. So this is also a method, but I think you shouldn't do this because you have to be naked and then you have to smear cattle poop on your body. It is very difficult to get the yellow cow, the poop, and you have to smear them all over your body, and you have to be naked, and you have to get the peacock feather covering your secret area. And the right hand hold the left hand holds a coconut and then you have to dry your pee and put it in a coconut, and the other one holds the peacock feather to cover your secret chakra. And then you smear all cattle poop all over your naked body. And then you have to chant the mantra too. In Tantrayana, there's really lots of methods. This is written by Virupa, and Virupa is Indian, was Indian, and Tibetans use these methods too. So let me share a few jokes. What time is it now? After 9 already. It's okay, let me share a few jokes. A girlfriend make a phone call and told me, please buy a perfume for my mom. And so I bought a box of water and gave it to her mom, and my girlfriend, this is a play of word of Chinese. So perfume sounded like a box of water. It sounded similar, so the other day I saw a joke. The husband told the wife, hey wife, I want to get a new toothbrush. And the wife asked why? And the husband replied, because a hair fell off. So just one of the bristle got off. And the husband replied, because that was the last bristle on the toothbrush. So the last bristle. So he was still using the toothbrush with one bristle. During the language class, or the Chinese class, language class, and the teacher was saying an idiom like using the wrong method to get something. And what is the next one? And then Xiaoming said, the method is wrong, which is the first idiom is like looking for a fish up the tree. But Xiaoming replied is that there's no egg in a chicken. But killing a chicken to get the egg, that's wrong. Well, but because I killed a rooster. So Xiaoming was very smart this time. The teacher asked Xiaoming, how come you didn't do your homework? And Xiaoming replied, because it's so cold today. So my dad used my homework as a kindling to lit the fire. I remember Xiaoming had this joke. So after the summer vacation, Xiaoming went back to school, and when he got in, everybody already in class, and Xiaoming was at the door of the classroom, and the teacher saw him all disheveled clothes. Why? Asked Xiaoming. What happened? And he replied, because I encountered a robbery. That's why I'm late and my clothes are indisheveled. So did you lose anything? Yeah, my homework. Because the robber just robbed his homework. The same concept. And this one is talking about a woman that's like flowers. At the 20s, it's like a peach blossom, very bright. In 30s, like roses, very alluring. At the 40s, it's peonies. It's like great. And in the 50s, it's orchids, very calm. And then in the 60s, it's cotton, very warm. A girlfriend works at the bank and very busy at the end of the year, and her boyfriend was very empathetic toward her and sent her a short text. Honey, I wish that your money would coming in and that you count the money like that your hands would have cramps. And then the girlfriend replied, hey, you know, my cash, my bills counter is broken, so I have to count money using my hands. So if I have a piece of bread and I share half with you, that's with love. And if I give the whole bread to you, that's not love, that's because the bread tastes bad. That's all for today. And I hope everybody should chant frequently the mantra of Tara dispels epidemics, and we hope that the epidemics will disappear soon and our group practice will return to normal. Oh, there's a joke like this. The demon talked to God. See, God, I'm incredible. Now, I have closed all of your churches. Now your followers cannot go to church anymore. The demon told God. And God replied, yes, you're right. However, now all my followers pray with all their hearts. So today I also want to tell everybody, now we will chant the mantra of Tara, which dispels epidemics, with all of our heart, with our true heart. And this way we will win over the Mara or demon or Mani Padme Hum.